Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you're tuned in. This is the Climate Culture Podcast, the 6th episode. So as we had promised, today we'll be delving deeper into the question of carbon markets, credits, and related stories. So many of us might be questioning the concept of carbon credits and how it really works. And the reality of this situation is that we have not been able to access the right information, or by extension, any information regarding all this. So the Climate Change Act 2023 that was signed into a law last year by the President of Kenya brought into effect the carbon markets as a tool for ensuring that we can benefit, or those that produce excessive carbon can pay for their, or what we call the carbon sinks. So, but how does this really work? So imagine a situation whereby you have a small garden. That garden has beautiful flowers. So these flowers are such that you really want to take good care of them. You want to ensure that they stay healthy, beautiful for as long as possible. Now it happens that one of your sons loves to play football in that garden. Every time he will go to the garden and break one or two flowers. And then you have a very beautiful daughter who every time wants to pluck from these flowers, wants to enjoy the beauty of this garden. So your son, who does ruin the flowers, is mandated to ensure that your daughter has access to these flowers anytime she wants. So you ask him that every time he ruins a flower, he will have to pay. And by so doing, say by tilling the land or tilling the garden, planting new flowers, and so on. And in return, your daughter will benefit from the flowers from this particular garden. So the carbon market works like that. So we have a globe which has a certain amount of carbon, or is required to have a certain amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases within the atmosphere. Unfortunately, some of us are ruinous, or we are troublesome. So we are the spoiled child that is always throwing so much carbon and so much greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And some of us are the meek and humble. We do not want to ruin the planet. We use less chemicals. We do not use fossil fuels as such. And our role in the depletion of the ozone layer, and by extension the production of greenhouse gases, is very limited. In this particular case, we have to find a balance for this situation. And that's how the carbon market has been introduced. It seeks to even out a situation where those who produce carbon are paying for producing too much carbon and greenhouse gases, while those who do not produce carbon or contribute to the well-being of the planet are paid for their role in ensuring that the planet is protected. Greenhouse gases have a big impact in rising global temperatures. They have a big impact on our own health. They have a big impact on food production in agriculture. They have a big impact on the natural sinks for our well-being. And thus, carbon markets attempts to create a situation where we can trade in carbon. So for instance, this young daughter in a rural village who rarely emits very minimal carbon, or has a net positive carbon emission footprint, is supposed to benefit from contributing to this minimal destruction of the planet. And big companies, and these ones are multinationals who are known for exploiting natural resources like fossil fuels, using intensive production mechanisms in producing huge carbon and greenhouse gases. These particular people are mandated to pay towards carbon credits. Hence, they can be allowed to continue producing excessively while not harming the people who produce minimally. However, the conversation on carbon markets and carbon credits has since created numerous loopholes. You find that people in rural communities have no understanding on how they can or are contributing to the carbon markets. They do not understand by planting a single tree, for instance, and a tree that they'll never cut down, they are contributing to carbon sequestrations. They do not understand that this in turn should reflect on their pockets. And this is mainly because some stakeholders who are still also controlled by the multinational companies and the big emitters are limiting information access. So that's why we at Climate Culture are making an effort to bring this out and have a conversation on carbon credits and carbon markets. However, we might not have a comprehensive discussion on this in this particular monologue. We will make an effort to have enhanced conversations with experts and other stakeholders to ensure that you get to understand what these carbon credits and carbon markets imply. Thank you very much. This has been the Climate Culture, and it's been enabled by the support of the USAID, the Young African Leadership Initiative, through the Kenyatta University. See you next time.